Hello everyone, and welcome back to my art journaling channel. I'm actually going to get back on track and do some steady, regular art journaling. It's been a while for me. I've been on a bit of a journey this past year, but I'm starting to get more settled. My life is more settled, and I'm getting my mojo back with regards to art journaling. So I'm really happy to be back art journaling on YouTube, and I hope you guys are happy to have me back. I'm going to start off with a theme, and the first part of my art journaling, and I don't know if it'll last weeks, months, whatever, is going to be on healing and just healing yourself spiritually. I'm not talking about like medical healing. I'm talking about spiritual inner peace healing. And I picked up these catalogs when we were in Salt Spring Island. I absolutely love them. They are huge. I'll turn it sideways so you can see how big they are. And they're all called Ship to Shore. And inside of them, they have these gorgeous images, and some of the people I will obviously rip out that page or cover it completely with gesso, but I mean, look at that image and look at that one. They're just beautiful. So I'm going to use the images that I can, like look at that, for my background, and the ones that I don't want to, why, like that, I will rip out. Look at this. You know what I mean? So I can use some of these images for background, and some of them, like I love this one. It's like a double spread one. It's beautiful. So the book itself it's made up and it composes of a lot of the art studios that are the, this one is on Salt Spring Island, and so some of the Gulf Islands. And I just thought for a free catalog, and the texture of the paper is just so neat. It's like really heavy newsprint. So that's one of them. And this one is the Bowen Island. So it says the Boater's Guide. So I guess that's what these are, Boater's Guides. And see in the back, they tell you what's on the island. So if you're ever on the Gulf Islands or anywhere, look at that one. You can look around and see. Look, just use the whole book as your canvas. So the first one to work in is this Ship to Shore, the Salt Spring Island one. And I love this page. So I am going to just, again, talk as I work, as I always do. And I want to gesso out the Ship to Shore at the top. I just picked up this new gesso. I've got so many gessos, but I want to try this one because it said heavy gesso. And I've never used heavy gesso. I'm not even sure what heavy gesso is like. Ooh, it's very thick. So I'm just going to dab a little bit up here just to block out that Ship to Shore. And then I'll just create my background. But you know, as I mentioned before, it's been an amazing year for me. I'm going to have to turn the book around because the book's so big that you can't see everything I'm doing. So please bear with me as I turn the book around. So I wiped off or painted over the Boater's Guide and Salt Spring Island, the name of the island of the book. And I also, at the top here, shipping, whatever it says, Ship to Shore. I blocked that out as well. And you know, healing from I don't want to say traumatic event, but eventful, an eventful year, let's say. Even though you know you're on the right track and everything is really good, it still takes a long time for your mind and body and spirit to all get on the same page. It really does. Get yourself grounded and just keep on showing, not that you have to show other people how you are, but just setting an example. Got to keep living that life with honor. Hold your head up high. Don't be ashamed. Don't let anybody shame you. Put those 2 feet on the ground and keep moving forward. So next I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of collage on this gold napkin. So I just want a few little pieces of this around, just kind of wherever, you know. I'm going to glue some of these down. So this is all dry now, and the gesso is all dry. And, you know, back to getting grounded. I've had to actually do specific things to try to get myself grounded and try to not let myself go kind of haywire and get way off track. Like when you start, especially with anxiety and things like that, I'm going to be adding a little bit of paints and stuff on here too. Because you can just like literally derail if you let yourself go with that. And sometimes when we get anxious, nervous, angry, sad, we try to push those emotions away from us. But I have come to learn that if you sort of sit in the feeling, like let it happen, let that anxiety happen, and they pass. And the next time you go to feel it, it's just not as bad as the first time. Okay, I'm just making myself kind of a scraper, you know, because I couldn't find a credit cardy thing handy. I use those things that come in the mail, you know, those fake credit card things. Now this is obviously, I think, going to be too bright for what I want it to be, but we'll see. A little bit up here. Is that a little texture on this page? Yeah, so just for me, before I worked in this book, I wanted my cover to be about being grounded, even though this is kind of going to be my healing book, my feelings book and healing book. I just want to dedicate this little art journal to specifically healing. And I don't know how many people out there go barefoot, but going barefoot is probably one way that it keeps you in the moment, and especially if you go barefoot outside and you're walking around, there's little pebbles and little things under your feet. Keeps you present. Now if you can see this picture here that I'm putting on, that is exactly what she is doing. Can you see? And I just loved her because she just looked so grounded, and that's what I want this to call this, becoming grounded. Because I'm not quite 100% there yet, but that's where I'm headed. Even in meditation, they will always say to you, take a deep breath in. On the exhale, imagine the exhale going down through the bottom half of your body, down through your feet, and out through you. See how look at that. And anchoring you to the ground, keeping you here, keeping you in the present, keeping you focused. Because if you've gone through a year, whether it's been good, bad, or whatever, but it's just been an eventful year, and good stress, bad stress, any kind of stress is stress, good, bad, or otherwise. And mine was a little bit of mixture of both. Some people have really horrible, stressful years. They have loss in their life. Just so much. Like life happens to all of us, hey? But you know, we all deal with these stresses in different ways. And for some of us, it is anxiety. And if you can just like close your eyes and try to think, how can I stay more grounded? How can I keep moving? These inks that I'm using are, they're all different, but they're acrylic artist ink. And they're actually acrylic paint. They're liquid acrylic is what they're called. So what else do I want to add to my page? Let me see. I think I'm going to put some stamping on it too. Like I've got a little bit of texture here, and I'm just looking up here at these Stampin' Up! Stampy things. So I'm going to get some black ink and just do a few of these around the page. Some distress ink. I got these little guys when I was in Drumheller at this craft store. That's where I bought my, they had heavy gesso. It was actually a tea shop. And on the third, she goes, we have 3 floors. And on the 3rd floor, the lady, I said, okay, somebody does art journaling here. And it was her. And it was this heavy gesso. And it was such a good price. It was only $12.99. Art Basics Heavy Gesso, and she had all of these, and she had the new little daubers of these. I haven't got them, the little round ones, but these are so cute. Look at the little tiny distress inks to take with you when you're traveling, you know? So, of course, I got Vintage Photo, Pumice Stone, and Black Soot. Those are the ones I tend to use the most. So, I'm just gonna swipe them around a little bit. This is Vintage Photo. Because they're so little, you can just kind of, you know, play. So yeah, my goal is to get myself more centered and grounded. And through that, hopefully, you heal yourself. And it's not that I'm broken, but I was, believe you me. I was very broken. Sometimes you don't even realize how broken you were until you get to the point of a journey of making the point of healing yourself. You don't realize how broken you were till you'll see how far you've come. So I just took my old foam letters. I have such a eclectic mix of them in this thing. And so I spelled out becoming grounded. And so I wanted the letters to kind of be able to connect. You see, like becoming and then grounded down here. So I'm just using my archival ink and I am going to stamp grounded. And when I first started stamping those, I thought, you know, another thing that makes me very, very grounded is doing this. Because you are so in the moment, you're focused on what you're doing, and you don't have time to be stressing and worrying, and you can just kind of put all that aside and just stay in the moment and enjoy creating. And I do believe that's why art is such good therapy for everybody. And I know I'm kind of rambling on and on, but this is where I'm starting. I'm starting back with my art journaling, and it feels really, really good. Don't you love how well these stamp? If you ever get a chance and you're at a garage sale or anywhere and get these foam stamps, they are even, I think these ones, I'm not sure, but I think they might have come from the dollar store. But they just soak in the ink so well that, yeah, like look at that. It's like they've been printed or something. So becoming grounded. Can you guys hear that plane? It keeps going back and forth and back and forth. It sounds like a water plane, which is kind of weird, but it just keeps going back and forth over the back of our backyard. Not sure what they're looking for, but they're looking for me. I'm down here becoming grounded. Okay. And then D, E, D, and then I'll be finished with this part. So believe it or not, my camera died in the middle of shooting too, my phone, but I just charged it up again. So while it was charging, I just wanted to show you I splattered around my image and my words, and I've just protected them with a strip of paper, and I didn't want her face getting splattered, as you can see. And then I just wanted to frame it up with something darker, so I used some black soot all the way around it. And I am just happy with the way that finished. Becoming grounded. Felt so good for me to do this. I thought it was interesting how the D practically hit the ground right there because I didn't leave enough space. But when I'm doing art journaling, I don't ever, it's not the time for measuring. It's just the matter of creating from your inside, creating from your soul, connecting with your body, connecting with your mind, connecting with your spirit, putting it all on the page. And that's how it turns out. And I love, love, love how these books are going to become such a fantastic art journal for me. I love it. Didn't cost me a cent. I used everything that I had. And I hope you guys are going to come along with me again as I journey through becoming grounded, becoming more healed, using whatever you have, as you know. Not being afraid to create. I remember years ago when I was following Susie Blue and she was saying, I think it's in Papua New Guinea where they don't even have a word for artist because everyone, as we all breathe, we all create. We are all artists. So putting it on the paper and however it turns out, you know? So this is my creation for today and I really love it. And although I felt a little rusty at first, I think it turned out really cool. I love it. Becoming grounded. So I'll be back very, very soon with my first entry in this journal. And thank you so, so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.